Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. My name's Michelle. I am a 48-year-old part-time teacher. And when I started this channel, my goal was to get on here every week and like share something. Y'all ain't gonna lie. I have not been on here because I didn't want to like BS y'all and get on here and try to act like all was well when it wasn't. But then I also didn't want to get on if I didn't have some sort of message in spite of kind of the storms. So I figured I wanted to talk to people about the truth about teaching, because I really don't think that most people have a clear understanding of really what it entails. And especially if you're somebody who is contemplating right now, like, should you go into teaching? There's always some perks with some stuff, but I just want to give you like an honest spiel. If you hear this chewing sound, it is the dog who just ran downstairs to get his bone. Okay, so I would say the first thing, if you plan on being a teacher, if you even think you want to be a teacher, go ahead and go visit somebody's classroom. And I mean, like, go visit somebody's classroom multiple times, like a lot of times. Go really get to see just the whole thing, because teaching is so much more than just working with the kids. There's the dynamic of the kids, the parents, the administration, your colleagues, plus you're finding curriculum, writing curriculum, doing lessons, grading papers, having conferences. There's a whole lot to it. And so I think if you went to observe some teachers, and possibly even teachers at different levels. So, sorry, y'all had to take his bone because no, go. You can have it, but you gotta go out. Go. Sorry. So he's not quite as close. Hopefully you won't be able to hear it as much. Now I feel like he's doing it even rougher now that I took it from him. But anyway, I would say visit some people who have like just started, maybe like 1 to 2 years. Find some people who are like under five, some teachers who are between like 5 to 10 years. Maybe find some people who are like 10 to 20, even older. This is my 22nd year, and I can tell you that education has changed like drastically since we first started. And so that would be my first suggestion. Go visit some teachers' rooms before you even enroll in a college program. If you're in middle school and you're old enough to volunteer, go visit. If you're in high school and you're really thinking, oh, I want to be a teacher, go visit. Second thing is, if you pass that and you go visit and you're like, yes, I still think I can save the world, I can do this, then I would say do not major in education as an undergraduate. Major in something else. For instance, I majored in psychology quite accidentally though, although it may help me out in the next few months. But I majored in psychology only because the school I attended didn't have an undergrad education program. And so I was like, I had to pick something. And so I picked psychology. But I would suggest you be more intentional and pick something like, what's your backup career, so to speak? Pick that. And then what you can do is then just go straight through and do a master's program. So in the field of education that you want, whether it's elementary, secondary math, secondary English, whatever it is. That way, in your mind, you already know, okay, I won't be teaching for 6 years because I'm going to go to undergrad for 4. Then I'm going to get a master's. That may take me anywhere between 1 to 2 years. The benefit of that is by the time you get your first job, you'll already be starting at a master's. And since we know teachers do not make a whole lot of money anyway, that'll at least give you a little bit more. And then the third thing I would say is do not plan to retire from teaching, because I think those days are gone. I don't think moving forward, you're going to be meeting people who are like, oh, I've taught for 30 years. I've taught for 40 years. If anybody who says that, they're probably like my age. They're like in their 40s and they're so far into their career that they're just like, forget it. I could last 10 more years, 5 more years, that kind of thing. I do not think people starting in their 20s are going to last for 30 years. Absolutely not. And so with that in mind, I think you should be thinking like, okay, how long do I think I want to do this? Like maybe I could do this for 10 and then I'm going to do something else, which if you plan it out like that, when you decide on your bachelor's degree, you can kind of do it that way. So maybe you'll know you feel like you do want to be in education, but you may want to try some other things. So maybe you get your bachelor's in school counseling, or maybe you get a bachelor's in English, or maybe you get it in math, or maybe you get it in something completely, unrelated, maybe accounting, who knows. But the idea is just don't major in it as a bachelor's. Do not, because with the state of education, I just think that people are burning out faster and sooner because the demands, they are a lot. And even though you think you know going in, but you really don't, because the amount of time that you spend on this job is insane. It really is. And because we are dealing with human capital, aka our students who we love and adore, you don't want to shortchange them. So you bring stuff home, you go in early, you give up your weekends, you stay late, all these little bits of time. They really add up. And so, like, as I was thinking about, my current journey and how, if you didn't see my other videos, I worked 22 years. This is my 22nd year. I did 20 years full time. So I was 16 years elementary, 4 middle, and now I'm high school for the last 2 years. And I'm a part-time literature teacher, world literature to be exact. But when I really added up how much time I'm spending on my job, technically it's not 4 hours, right? Like technically I'm supposed to be there from 7:45 to 11:45. But if you think about like your travel time, the time you get up, your commute back home, stuff you're bringing home, or if you're staying late, I mean, I'm at probably 7 hours every day. And then, unfortunately the pay, even though they're trying to do better, it really is still very low. Like when you think of other professions, most counties do not have teachers making 6 figures. And if they are making 6 figures, it is because they might have a doctorate, plus they do summer school, or plus they do some sort of after school thing or something like that. So again, just as a quick recap, I'm definitely not trying to deter anyone from being a teacher because I really love it. I would not trade it for anything. But y'all, I'm tired. Like I'm tired, and I would like to think that I'm like pretty organized. And I always think of the 4 pillars of teaching. So you have your students, your colleagues, administration, and parents. And I can honestly say that where I work, those 4 things, they really are fine. They really are. Like, no, nothing's perfect, but it's nothing horrible. But I think that as I'm reflecting on the fact that like I've wanted to be a teacher since I was in 1st grade, I'm really beginning to think maybe it wasn't so much that I wanted to be a teacher, but it was just I like teaching people and helping them. And 30 something years ago, that would have been a teacher. But I feel like in today's day and age, that might look more like school counseling. Maybe that's working at like a youth center, or maybe an after school program, or volunteering at a church, or like a YMCA or something along those lines. But it's definitely a lot of work, and just emotionally, it is draining. It is so draining. So just as a reminder, my 3 points, I love the number 3. So first, I would say if you really think you want to be a teacher, go visit some people's classrooms, and really don't just visit the same school. You need to get a different temperature for how schools can be. So go to a couple schools if you can. Secondly, do not major in education as an undergraduate degree. Pick something else and then just go do a master's to get your certification for elementary or middle, or, however you want to do it, secondary. And then the third thing is have a plan on how long you think you're going to last. Like find out in your system when you first start how many years you need to teach to be vested, meaning how many years do you need to teach before you're eligible for the retirement program, and then try to stay that long, at least that length of time. Like I know in my district, or I think rather in my state, it's 10 years. So as long as you have taught at least a decade, you're eligible for retirement benefits. But again, I can't really see, I think the tide is changing. I do not think we are going to have teachers who are now in their 20s, even 30s, saying that, oh yeah, I taught for 30 years. I couldn't see it. Unless, of course, you're in some sort of remote situation. See, he got quiet, but then he came over so he could get some rubs. Oops. Okay, get down. Say more. All right, get down. Get down. Go ahead, buddy. Get down. So unless you're in a remote situation, because I've just started that, and I'm not going to lie, I absolutely love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I did not enjoy when we had to teach online, but this is a little different because it's all asynchronous. So you're really not like doing this with the students. We use Remind, so we like text a lot, and if they need me, then we'll call, and I can help them out with some stuff. And so it is beautiful, y'all. I forgot what it felt like to just have something handed to you. So like with this program that I'm working for, in addition to doing my part-time teaching in the morning, it is the coolest thing. Like the modules are already set up. I mean, you're not out there trying to find curriculum and upload it and find tests. And so it really is, a time saver. So again, I hope you found this helpful. I really am going to try to post once a week, but I didn't want to get on here and be negative, y'all. And this took me this long to be able to frame this in a positive way, because it took me a minute to be able to say it like this. So I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Until later, be grateful. Bye-bye.